For this episode of Rare, I'm delighted to welcome Manuela Maronati. Having held numerous leadership positions at the likes of Amgen, InterMune, and Atara Biotherapeutics, Manuela joined UCB in 2022 and is now Global Asset Head for their Neuroinflammation and Rare Disease assets. So welcome, Manuela. Before we start, could you talk us through your journey so far?
Thank you for having me today. I'm very excited about this talk. So I'm a chemical engineer as a background. So I started my career designing and building pharmaceutical plants. And after an MBA, I moved into more pharma. And as you said, I started in Amgen in a marketing and sales role, both internationally and in the UK. Then I started what I call my startup period in Rare specifically. So it's like 15 years I work in Rare, and at the beginning in InterMune as head of commercial for Europe, I dig into a rare idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis disease, so a lung disease. And that's where my passion for Rare started. Really seeing how it is good to work in an environment where both physicians and patients are really involved because they are the real expert of their disease. I moved then into PTC, in Duchenne muscular dystrophy, again, head of commercial, market access, and patient advocacy. And then in Atara, in ultra rare lymphoma that happens after transplant, where we were trying to bring a new innovative technology, cell-based. And as you said, 3 years ago, I joined UCB at the beginning to help them develop their rare capabilities in Europe. So as head of rare diseases for Europe. And now, since a year, I'm leading some assets in neuroimmunology and rare diseases globally from an end-to-end perspective. So from clinical development until commercialization.
Yeah, great. And so UCB actually hasn't always been known for rare diseases. So what were the drivers to focus more intentionally on that space?
Yeah, so really at UCB, we believe that everyone deserves their best life. So as free as possible from the challenges and uncertainties of disease. And so it is really based on the fact that we believe we have a patient value strategy in everything we do. So we really focus on the unmet needs, on solutions that can clearly differentiate and bring a unique outcome. We like to add value for the healthcare system and really commit to something that will bring value to patients. And UCB has done this for 19 years and really focusing on what matters for patients. And so it becomes sort of natural to enter into this space. Especially if you think that UCB has worked for a long time in epilepsy. We have worked on helping to reduce seizures, and now we are working into the area where the unmet is still there. So more rare condition of epilepsy like Dravet syndrome, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. And so with that, we enter little by little into more area that are defined rare. So it's not that the strategy is to pursue rare indication, but it's more to pursue where the unmet need is still for patients. And this leads, to more rare population or subpopulation that are still not have something for them. So it's a sort of, we start from a patient value strategy, and through that we arrive into areas that are more rare.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so what would you say have been the main challenges of this shift?
So clearly, we all know that when you deal with populations, so rare population means that the disease is not well known. There is not a lot of literature around it. So you need to liaise more strongly with the scientific community, so with the few experts that deal with it, and also with the patient community, because patients are ultimate expert of this disease. So that has been something that as a company we had to learn more. And so we brought in some talent that were really focusing on that in their past, so that we could really create an understanding of how to serve this population in a different way and overcome some of the challenges that there are from a regulatory standpoint, from a clinical development standpoint, and then the commercialization. So really, as an organization, we have been focusing on how to bring talent in that could help. And what the beauty of UCB is really that it's a mid-sized company, so it's not hugely big as some of other companies, but it's not a startup, right? So has the capability that have learned during the 90 years of journey of being a pharmaceutical company, that we could invest into the capabilities of Rare coming from outside and create really a good environment for the drug to be developed. In addition, we really believe that it's important to look at all the stakeholders together. So we are approaching now the development and commercialization of our asset from an end-to-end perspective. So really having a group of people focusing on an asset from all the different aspects, looking at all the different stakeholders, being there, the doctor, patient, the payers, the regulatory authorities, so that really all together as a community that care for patients, we can develop. So we have been able to do this, and not only in Rare, but in everything we do. But I think a Rare experience sparked it and make sure that our patient value strategy were enhanced by the fact that being nearer to the stakeholders that care for these patients.
And thinking into the future, like what does the future look like for UCB's rare disease portfolio? Are there any areas of unmet need that you're particularly excited about?
Yes, absolutely. So we are continuing to develop our medicines in additional indications. Some of them are rare, and we also have some new assets coming. For example, we have recently submitted an asset in an ultra-rare condition called TK2, which is a mitochondrial disease of children. So we are continue to really innovate in this space, looking at the unmet need that are out there. Another example for one of our assets, we are looking at MOGAD, which is again an autoimmune disease that really impact patient lives. So we look, as I said, to the unmet need that there are in patients in area where we are strong, where we have a long background, that is neurology and immunology. And in there, we continue to innovate and look for opportunities to help patients. So we look also how we can do it in different ways, more innovative ways. And I think the new technologies coming up will help a lot to help patients which have a rare disease where there are less information, because we will be able to connect more dots. I'm looking like artificial intelligence and how that could really in the future support this population in a faster way. That has always been the issue of rare diseases, right? So it takes a long time because the information are not all there immediately.
Yeah, great. Well, I look forward to seeing some positive news from UCB in the future. But thanks so much for taking the time to feature and give some insight into your own journey, and also a bit of an insight into the story of UCB as well.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.